Hi, welcome to Senior Moments Successful Aging. I'm your host, Mary Beals-Luedtka. I'm the Area Agency on Aging Director with NACOG. You can reach me toll-free at 877-521-3500. Senior Moments Successful Aging is co-sponsored by the Division of Lifelong Learning with Yavapai College. And our producer is Connie Del Castillo. You can reach Connie at 928-717-7607. So thank you, Connie, for your work behind the scenes, and also Allie Bateman from Area Agency on Aging. So today we have a guest that I know well because she works at the Area Agency on Aging, Laura Reed. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mary.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it because you had to drive from Cottonwood, right?
Yes.
All right. So thank you for taking the time. It was a beautiful morning.
Yes,
so
it was. Absolutely.
At least we didn't have rain.
Right.
So Laura, you are a care coordinator.
Yes.
And
yes,
so we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and how you can help folks that are listening, where they go to get help. But I want to back up a little bit and talk about you.
Okay.
So where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from California and spent many years there, and then moved to Alaska where I had both of my children, and ended up in Arizona after Alaska to be close to family.
No, well, yeah, that's a big draw.
Especially after you have children.
Yes. How many children?
Two.
Two.
Yep. Teenagers right now.
Oh my gosh, you've got your hands full.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
So you live in Cottonwood, and how long have you been in case management?
I've been in case management with different populations for more than 25 years.
For a long time. For a long time. And you have a degree in psychology, right?
Psychology, yes.
I bet that comes in really handy.
It does. It does, especially with mental health, dealing with a lot of mental health issues with our senior population right now.
So how long have you been at the Area Agency on Aging? I really should know that off the top of my head, but I don't.
Just over 3 years.
3 years. Gosh, that went by fast.
Yes, it's just like yesterday.
Although I would have even guessed longer, really.
Yeah.
You know, because we have such a great team, and I appreciate that. So what does a care coordinator do?
Well, we get our referrals from our Flagstaff office, Central Intake. They come in through our computer, and then we schedule an appointment. We go out and see them, and we assess them for home and community-based services.
So how do they call the central office?
We have a toll-free number, and
What is it?
I don't know the toll-free number.
I got it.
Okay.
The toll-free number is 877-521-3500.
Okay.
Since you don't have to call it.
Exactly. They call that number and they get on our caseload. We go out and see them and assess them for services.
So you go to their houses?
Yes, we do.
And what's the advantage of going out to their house?
The advantage is you get to see them in their home setting. You get to see what their challenges are, how safe their homes are, what resources they have available, what kind of supports they have available to them, and you get to assess them on a really deep level. You get to see how clean they are, how clean their homes are. How they're dressed, whether they can dress themselves, if their phone rings, whether they can answer the phone. So there's just a lot of different areas to assess besides the home delivered meals and in-home services.
Right. And when you say that you do assessment, that's quite lengthy, isn't it?
Yes, we have an 18-page assessment that is very thorough and covers just about everything about the person that they could cover. From how well they care for themselves to who their support people are. We do a nutritional assessment. We do a safety assessment in the home. With just every aspect that we can think of in their lives. And, most of them have hearing, cognitive, sight deficits. We evaluate whether or not they're going to need assistance advocating for them in the community. And how we can work that into our schedule, and it's very well-rounded.
So it's holistic, it sounds like.
Very much so.
And so after you do all this assessment, what's the next step?
Once we do the assessment, we complete our paperwork, we determine what services are available to them, we get the authorizations to the providers, and then the services generally start for the client within 7 days.
So does the client help you with the care plan?
They do. They are an intricate part of them. They're the ones directing the entire show.
Good.
They tell us what they need, what they want, how often they want the service, what degree what type of caregiver would work best. we go through what they're allergic to, the meals, and it's very person-centered, very holistic, and catered to them specifically.
And that's nice to know they're in the driver's seat because, especially if you're homebound, I think it's hard you're losing some of your independence and you want to have a say-so in your life.
Exactly. We put a lot of emphasis on you don't have to have any of this, and at any time you can stop or, discontinue services.
So do you just help them get on AAA services?
No, I'm available to help with long-term care, any sort of program in the community they are interested in. I will help get them on that program, to help them with the paperwork, attend appointments with them, whatever, phone calls. I'm like a little pit bull out there fighting for them in the community.
So you're an advocate.
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, I'm an advocate.
So you're like a personal advocate for your clients.
Absolutely.
That's invaluable.
Yes.
That's really nice. So, because some people can't speak up for themselves well.
Exactly.
Or they don't know where to start.
Right.
They have no idea where to start.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they do have some, you were talking about, I could speak. You were talking about their support people.
Yes.
So sometimes they actually have caregivers. What does that mean, being a caregiver? Do they have to live in the home?
No, a caregiver doesn't have to live in the home. In fact, we have caregivers that are even long distance that are living out of state, and we are the eyes and ears for those caregivers to give them information about their family members, and so they can rest a little easier being far away. That we are those eyes and ears in a close area. And there are caregivers that live right next door. There are some that live in the home. It just depends on the individual situation, but we are there as a caregiver support as well. I tell my caregivers, even if you're having a frustrating day, call me. I'm there to listen.
And that's important because I think most caregivers that I've worked with over the years, and including family, think they can do it all.
Yes.
And they can't.
Right.
They need support.
Yes, they do.
And they need to say, now, don't you even assess the caregivers?
We do. We have an entirely different assessment for the caregivers to assess their stress level. We look at their health, their well-being. We encourage them to engage in self-care activities and to attend workshops, symposiums, support groups, and we do everything that we can to give them the information to keep them healthy enough to care for the recipient.
And that's why the adult puts the oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your loved one.
Absolutely.
And a lot of folks forget that piece. And so I know there is one service that we can really help them out with, and that's respite.
Yes.
So maybe talk a little bit about what that means. What is respite?
Respite is when a caregiver steps in to give the caregiver a break. Because the caregiver's on 24/7, and even when they do get that respite, they're still on in their mind, in their body. They're still on duty. So the respite is there to give them a layer of comfort where they can maybe get away and read a book or take a nap or go have a nice quiet dinner or something, and they can relax and just take a few deep breaths and just breathe. And they know their person is being cared for and safe, and they can just take a moment to relax. And the respite provider is there to do whatever the caregiver would do, whether it's laundry or just playing cards or giving them a bath, whatever is necessary to keep that person safe and happy and just entertained for a little while.
And help them for a little while.
Yeah.
So and we usually give around 20 hours of respite a week, a month.
Yes.
I wish it was a week.
I wish
But
too.
a month. And they do come into the home.
They come into the home.
I know in Prescott we also have the alternative of them going into adult daycare.
Yes.
But we don't have that all through Yavapai County. We just don't have the providers. So there is some choices in some of the areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that strikes me about what you do is that you're often with these clients a long time.
Yes. Yes.
So how often do you touch base with them?
I tend to keep pretty regular contact with my client, and it's not unusual for me to have contact with most of my caseload every month because there's always a need. There's always some way you can advocate for them, phone calls they need help making, issues with different things, even if it's just a resource for somebody to mow their lawn, So there's always contact. I just love being in contact with them because I love the senior population myself, and they're they're just really neat to talk to, and they're so grateful. They're so grateful for the help and the support. And so I stay in pretty regular contact. So I would say about monthly, rare occasion, somebody who's really doing well and doesn't need any support. Maybe they have support at home every 3 months, but generally I'm pretty in close contact.
So, but you have to see them every 3 months, and then
Yes,
you have
every
to do
3
a home
months.
visit at 6 months.
Yes, we do
Okay.
reevaluation at 6 months just to see where they are, whether they need more services or they're doing better and they need less services, or yes, so at least quarterly is our minimal contact, but I tend to stay a little closer than that.
But one of the things I know that you encourage is your caregivers and your folks to call you if anything comes up.
Absolutely, anything at all.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
And so, and I'd like to stress to those that are listening that, all our care coordinators are bachelor level, highly trained, really understand the psychosocial aspects of the assessment process. And, you're worth your weight in gold, believe me.
Oh,
You
thanks.
are. You case managers, care coordinators are the gatekeepers for the Area Agency on Aging. You're the ones that go out into those homes. You're the ones that see what's really going on. You're the ones that get attached.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
About a third of our clients get better.
Yep.
A third of our clients go on long-term care,
Yes.
and a third of our clients pass away. And you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the mental health issues as well.
Yes. Yes, that is becoming a growing, I don't want to say problem because we can deal with it, but it is a growing issue.
It's a growing issue, yes.
Most definitely. And so I myself am doing a lot of advocating with the local mental health facilities.
Good.
Because there's not a lot of focus on that. And so we have to bring that to their attention. And that's a very important issue right now.
Sometimes that's the first thing that gets cut when we get funding cuts, which doesn't make any sense to me because
No.
that's part of your health.
Yes, it is.
And then we have the opioid crisis. Do you see that medication misuse with the elderly?
I do. I do see it in some cases, yes. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the answer is there, but.
Well, we're going to be starting a new home program called RX Matters, and we're going to have AmeriCorps workers available for you so they can go into the home and help you go through the medications and medication management with them and their caregivers if necessary.
That will be great.
I know. I'm excited about it. It's a big push from the governor's office. We did receive a grant for Yavapai County. So it's something that we'll be working with you on with Susan and the health and wellness team, as well as the family caregiver team.
Okay.
And so trying to get out there and help folks, because unfortunately, I do see, when I look at the whole region, a lot of our seniors self-medicating, or if they have pain pills, they take too many. And really they're not using them the way they need to be used. And there's a lot of health issues that follow that.
Yes, there are.
It doesn't make you better.
Right.
It actually it exacerbates it. So you do all these things for your clients. What does it do for Laura?
Well, at the end of the day, I have a job I can feel really good about. And I believe that our seniors are just this wealth of knowledge and information that is so untapped right now. And when I get into a home, I'm more than doing an assessment. I'm talking to those. In fact, just yesterday I had a World War II veteran, and those are the most interesting people to chat with because there's not many of them left, especially the World War II veterans. And hearing their take on life in general is so interesting. And, I've had seniors from, the Civil War era that I've sat and talked with them about their personal experiences. And it's better than opening a history book. And that is one of my very favorite things about my job. I go home at the end of the day and I share those stories with my family. And I was like, you're not going to believe I met this couple today that was married 71 years. And it's just so exciting for me. And so I feel really good about it. And when I've had a good day at the end of the day, that's what we get to talk about over the dinner table.
Yes,
Some of the people that I met and just who they are and how they believe and how different it is from today. And I'm very passionate about that. I just love them for just what they have to offer because they have so much to offer.
And I love that you said perspective because they do have a different. I did home visits for years, and I loved it because they do have a different perspective than we do.
They do.
They were raised different. They lived through the Depression. Most of the folks that we lived through the Depression.
And that's something that that's a little bit of a struggle sometimes, because those that went through the Depression, they don't want to ask for help. They don't want to reach out for help, and they're very resistant to allowing you to come in. And those are some of our most needy clients that will turn away services. And, I think part of our jobs is just to say, hey, this is what we're here for, and this will enrich your life and give you a better quality of life. And most of the time, we're able to help them.
Help turn them around. Well, I think part of it is that term welfare, a handout.
And that's how they refer to it a lot of time is, I never wanted a handout,
And this is not a handout.
Right.
You worked all your life, so we can give you this.
Right.
And I used to use that term, just this is here for you. You worked all your life, you paid your taxes, you helped build this country. That's why we're here for you now. And if we don't help you now, then it's going to get, to the long-term care. And then it's, then that's really hard for them.
Yes.
And it's nice to be able to keep people at home.
Yes, it is.
Isn't that one of the number one things you hear from folks?
Yes, absolutely. They want to be in their home until they pass.
Do you think one of the fears of them calling us is that they're going to have their home taken away?
Yes, we hear that quite often, and I'll come into a home sometime. They're like, "You're not going to put me away, are you?" And that's not my job. I'm here to keep you at home. I'm here to put the supports in to keep you where you are. But that is a huge fear. They think if they start this process, then that's going to give somebody some ammunition to take their rights away. And so that is something definitely we come across all the time.
All the time. All the time. What's another fun story you can think of? And of course, just for our viewers, I mean, you share your stories, but not who they're from.
Right. Right.
So client confidentiality is very important to us. And, your information is safe. It's in a very safe computer program that is just for NACOG. When we route the referrals to the case managers, it comes through that computer system. So it's not on a fax or an email, because that's not safe. So we make sure that all that information is very safe, because I think that's another thing people get really worried about, and they should be, about their social security number, about their personal information, because of identity theft. And we respect that, but we do follow HIPAA regulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's another fun story you can think of?
Well, I really like the couples that have been married for a really long time. I love hearing how they met and, about their children and things. And what I think one of my favorite things when I get into a home is finding their talents. There's so many hidden talents in the senior population. We have so many artists and dancers and people who make fish flies, flies for
fly
fishing.
That's hard to do.
Yes, it is. And just all these little hidden talents that are locked away. And if you engage them in conversation enough, it's more than just an assessment. You're bonding and you have this relationship with them now, and they're sharing with you. And to me, there's nothing like getting in the home of a senior, and they're, at first they're kind of like, oh, she's here to do an assessment. And by the end of it, they're sharing their lives, they're perking up, they're smiling, they're laughing, and they've had this great experience because somebody actually cares about something that is going on in their lives, and a talent they had or an experience they had. And I'm in awe of them, and I think they know that. And so it's just kind of makes their day. And so it's encouraging for them to have me back, because it was a good experience. And
also to feel comfortable calling you.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, we can call Laura. Okay. We'll call Laura and go from there, because building a rapport is important. And I think there's also, in a lot of part of our region, is anti-government.
Yes.
We still have that anti-government. So not only a fear we're going to take them out of their home, but this anti-government. And I just want to assure our listeners that NACOG is actually a nonprofit.
Yeah.
We are actually a nonprofit, albeit we get a lot of government funding. But we are a nonprofit, and we're there to help.
And we get questions like that too. Who are you giving this information to?
Oh, yeah.
Who do you report to? So I get some of that as well.
Yeah, and it's important to reassure them that this goes in a secured computer system. It's very important. The computer system got different levels of access. We go through a system called Cabinet that you have certain access to, but Allie doesn't.
Right.
and so doesn't. So it is layered according to what security, and we do take security tests to get on the
Yes.
state system. Yeah. So do you have to do that test every year? I think.
I don't believe it's every year.
Okay, maybe it's every other year. But I know they have you change your passwords all the time.
Well, we're changing passwords about every 2 weeks.
Oh my
to some degree of there's always a password changing, and so yeah, you got to get really, really good at remembering passwords.
You have to get creative.
Yes, very.
Oh my gosh.
Very creative. So at least every month we have to change a password.
Wow. So, it's a very secure system.
Absolutely.
And so, I want folks that call in and again, you call in first to that toll-free number.
Yes.
That's where you start. And at the toll-free number, and we had Dion on not too long ago talking about central intake and her passion for that. I don't know how she does it all day long on the phone.
Yeah.
I really don't, but she does a wonderful job. And now we have Alana. But that toll-free number, 877-521-3500, is really the key to finding out what you need. Start there, and then we'll send you to
Absolutely.
Laura. So what areas do you cover?
I cover Camp Verde, Rimrock, which also includes Lake Montezuma and Beaver Creek, and then I have some of Cottonwood.
Okay. And the office is in Cottonwood.
The office is in Cottonwood.
Yeah. So we also have an office in Prescott Valley. So we have 2 offices in Yavapai because it's our biggest county as far as population over 60.
Yes.
Percent of population over 60. So over half the funding for the Area Agency on Aging is for Yavapai County. So you have the biggest team
Yes.
between the 2 offices of all of us. So all of you have a select area.
Yes, we do.
But I also know, and I thank you, that sometimes a case manager or a care coordinator moves on.
Yes.
And we had a young gentleman that worked for us that got a job in the Valley, and he left. So then what happens?
Then we just all pick up the slack. We rally together, pick up the slack, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. And I know that's an incredible amount of work for you because you have a heavy caseload anyway. So you carry 130?
130.
That's a lot of folks to keep track of, 130 people.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It helps when you're passionate about your job
Yes.
and you love it. That's just kind of like what you do. So it works. We make it work.
I think for most of you and for most of anybody at the agency, it's not a job.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
Yeah.
It's
about caring for your community. You also get an opportunity to do some things in the community, though, don't you?
Yes. Yep. Just last weekend, I had a table at a health fair.
Okay.
At one of the senior communities, and I think we had 75 people come through there, and were able to talk to people about the agency and what services were available and how they could get help.
Good. So you're an ambassador too.
Yes.
For the Area Agency on
Yes.
Aging. Do you still find people are like, oh, I've never heard of you before?
Yes. I do.
That just kills me.
I know, me too, because I feel like I'm everywhere.
I know, and me too.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I was just recently up in the White Mountains, and I just realized I haven't been in that senior center for years.
Yeah.
Years. And I don't know how that happened because I used to go every quarter when I was the legal advocate. And so, all we can do is just keep getting out of there, and people's out there and telling people about our services, because there's a lot of services available. And it's not just for those in poverty.
Right.
So you do ask about income.
We do. We ask about income in a general, non-specific. We don't ask for proof. They don't feel pressured to, because you start asking about income, all of a sudden the guards go up and they want to know why and who. And so we really try to keep them calm about that. And it's, it's a general question. We don't need you to dig out proof. And they're usually really good about it.
And I think, just for them to know too, it's not like some government programs where there is a eligibility level with income. Right. Ours is more looking at their economic and social need.
Exactly.
And it's based on the assessment, and you assess the activities of daily living.
Yes.
And what are those?
Well, those are if they can bathe themselves, if they can dress themselves, if they're still driving, if they can grocery shop, if they can clean their own home, if they can get down, do their floors, and are they at risk for a fall if they do try to tackle some of these things. all of those daily, just everything that it takes to take care of themselves. We
And
look
that's
at all
really
of
what it's
those.
based on more than anything.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, when someone comes in and they have quite a large income, we do have to triage.
Yes.
And we don't have the money to serve everybody that calls, and we are going to serve the most social and economically needy seniors first.
Absolutely. We
do maintain a wait list, and every once in a while you guys get caught up and get to take some folks off the wait list, which is wonderful. So just to name a couple of the area agency and aging services that we have. We talked about respite. What's the other one?
Home delivered meals.
Okay.
And we do a very thorough nutritional assessment for them and determine whether they can cook for themselves, if at all, whether they can, a lot of seniors have arthritis, whether they can even turn the knobs on the stove to be able to cook for themselves. And if they qualify for those, we set them up for home delivered meals, generally 5 days a week. If there's a holiday, they get a frozen meal. Some seniors, that's too much food. We can give them 3 meals a week. If, we just want them to be healthy and we want them to eat.
Yeah, well, nutrition's critical.
It is. And many of our seniors, the hot meal that they get at lunch is their main meal of the day.
Yeah.
They may be able to make a sandwich or a bowl of cereal, but this is really their main food, their main meal for the day.
Yeah, and it's a third of the required daily nutrients.
Yes.
They call it RDA, so I'm trying to think what A stands for. All those acronyms.
Yes, I know.
But at least we know we're getting that. They're getting that because I don't think folks realize if you don't get proper nutrition, you can't heal, you can't maintain your health. Your immune system is going to go downhill, and your health is going to decline. But we also have attendant care.
Attendant care for the seniors who are high risk for falling, who cannot bathe themselves, are afraid to get into the bath because they are afraid of falling. We can put somebody in the home to make sure they get, a couple of 1 or 2 baths a week. And, some of them they don't really want to, they get older, they don't want to take that risk as much as they did.
It's scary.
It is very scary.
You can even have a standby.
Even a standby,
Even
just
a
somebody
standby.
just to listen. And I think that once they get that assistance in the home, they realize that this is really nice. This is really helpful.
It's like we need help and you need to call so Laura can come out and visit
Yeah.
you. Laura, I love your passion.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of
Thank
our
you.
team and for being out there for the seniors and making a difference in their lives.
Absolutely.
Every day you make a difference in someone's life. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Senior Moments, Successful Aging. We have Laura Reed here from our Cottonwood office. I'm Mary Beals-Luedtka from the Area Agency on Aging. Until next time.